Joey,
Eh?
who ate all the tacos?
Oh, don't look at me. I'm not big on tacos.
Well, I looked and they were gone.
Oh, well, you can get some more at the kitchen.
The taco kitchen?
No, not the taco kitchen. You get them at the
Two Cat Kitchen. It's time for us to pitch in and start another Two Cat show. Down at the Two Cat Kitchen, we're starting on a mission to put you in the culinary know. We've got the finest recipes you ever will find, guaranteed to show you all a mighty fine time here at the Two Cat Kitchen. Time for a new edition of the Culinary Two Cat Show. The Culinary Two Cat Show.
Welcome to the Two Cat Kitchen, the show that mixes musical mayhem with culinary calamity. Sarah Grady is here to help with the mixing.
Welcome to the kitchen.
Each episode of the Two Cat Kitchen includes brand new songs, a brand new recipe, and a special musical guest. Who's our musical guest today?
Today's special guest is Chris Heinzmann, fiddle player extraordinaire and barbecue master.
Fantastic. Chris will be joining the Coconotes in just a little bit, but speaking of the Coconotes, I think I hear them now. Sarah, why don't you go check it out, see what they're up to.
It looks like they're having a pig roast. Maybe they've been talking to Chris?
Pig roast, wow. A little bit of everything here at the Two Cat Kitchen. And that reminds me, each episode of the Two Cat Kitchen also includes an informative segment. What do we have in store for us today?
Today, we will answer listener mail on the Two Cat Mailbag.
Sounds good. That'll be coming up in a little while. But now it's the Coconotes and special guest Chris Heinzmann with Bend to the East.
To the east, been to the west, traveled this whole world round. Through many long days I found my way, but now I'm homeward bound. Seen geese on the wing, heard the mockingbird sing, met men both wicked and wise. Lessons I've learned and bridges I've burned should come as no surprise. Through wind and rain and dark of night, my path was ever true. A heavenly light ever in my sight to guide the whole night through.
and I'm joined with our musical guest for today. It's Chris Heinzmann, fiddle player extraordinaire. Chris, welcome to the Two Cat Kitchen. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks. It's great to be here. This is really fun.
So anyway, tell us a little bit about your recent musical endeavors. What have you been up to these days, musically speaking?
Well, I play with South County Rounders, and that's Matt Bowles, Phil Smith, Judy Bowles, and myself. And we play pretty much locally.
So locally, for those of you, we're here in southern Rhode Island, southern New England. Yeah, you play in the southern New England area, USA?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. So, and we play a bunch of folk, swing, bluegrass, kind of, string band music because we're a string band.
And what's the instrumentation with the Rounders?
Okay, so our basic instrumentation is guitar, 2 fiddles, and bass. And the 3 of those guys sing, and I don't sing but maybe 1 or 2 songs. And, well, I sing 1 song and a little bit of harmony. But then Phil Smith, who plays guitar, will switch off onto the finger-picking guitar or the banjo or the dobro. And on those tunes, Matt, who plays bass, will switch off onto guitar.
Nice.
Yeah.
So a lot of versatility, it sounds like.
It's fun.
And the South County Rounders have been around for a long time.
Like 40 years or more.
Yeah, and how long have you been playing with them?
Oh, more than 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
23, probably more than 10 years.
Yeah. And we go way back too, don't we?
Yeah, at least 40 years.
40 years, is that
at
right?
Least,
So
1980.
We used to be sort of neighbors, right?
Yes.
In the 80s,
In the
early
80s.
Wow, and that was a long time ago. And I'll tell you what, you were a great fiddle player back then, and still are. Even
Yes.
greater today.
So, I've been playing a long time.
A lot of water under the bridge there.
Yep.
But yeah, so South County Rounders. So if people want to check out their music, and we'll put a link in the show notes to the South County Rounders.
Great.
For those people that are interested in that. And anything else? Any other musical projects? You do a few things here and there.
Well, I am. I'm playing with a few people just for fun, and some good musicians that have been around here for a long time. Put a plug into D. Davis. We're getting together, and he's just a wealth of knowledge about music. And every time we get together, I learn more stuff. And he seems to be enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it. And we've got another friend, Paul Zerner, who's playing guitar and mandolin.
Nice.
And we don't have any plans but to play in the kitchen at this point.
Yeah.
But
maybe in the Two Cat Kitchen someday.
maybe, he's, D, and he likes to do a lot of the David Grissman stuff. So So I'm looking at that, and that's fun.
D. Davis, for those of you not aware, is a local Southern New England musical legend, and when it comes to folk music and acoustic music.
And the one other thing that I've been doing for a long time, and you may be a little familiar with this, is I play with the Rhode Island College Chamber Orchestra.
Oh, right.
Right. So that's and they need folks from the community to fill out the orchestra.
Wow.
And so I do that, and this past year I took a little break from it, but the director called me back and said, would you please come back? So I guess I play well enough because I don't play that kind of music, classical music. It's you have to read those little dots, and
a lot of reading in classical music.
and some of the students are so good, but that's been a real benefit. I've been doing that for over 10 years.
Oh, nice. So you got a lot going on, musically speaking, which is fantastic. But you also are a barbecuist. Is that what you call it? You do barbecue.
I do barbecue.
Yeah. How'd you get into that?
How did I learn how to make barbecue? And so I read a lot, but also I would go down to Texas to a fiddle camp down there.
Oh.
And after that, I would go visit my wife's aunt and uncle. My wife's name is Lynne. I'm Chris, and his name is Lynne, and her name is Chris. So we have fun with that.
Oh, wow.
Chris and Lynne and Chris. But anyway, he would take me out to a barbecue joint because he knows I like barbecue. And he'd take me out to the famous places, and that was just really great to get exposed to some really good barbecue.
Yeah.
And just by walking into those places and smelling the smell, tasting the meat, the texture, and sometimes getting a tour of the kitchen, I learned an awful lot.
Wow.
I have a lot more to learn, but by doing that, just experiencing what I want to experience gets my brain thinking about how am I going to achieve this.
Yeah.
And it's helped. So I'm working towards that.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how you're doing.
I know.
And when we get into the recipe, it'll be fun. No, that's fantastic. And so you're also going to, here on the Two Cat Kitchen, we're going to do a song with you, a song that you wrote. Can you tell us a little bit about the song you have for us this episode?
Yes. It's a tune that I wrote for my wife, Lynne, and it's called Dancing with Lynne. Lynne is a fantastic ballet dancer. And it's just thing that makes her very, very happy. And occasionally I write a song, and then this one came along. I think I wrote it in 2018, and I've been practicing it and trying to learn it ever since. But it's a lot of fun. It's a fiddle tune. It's a 3-part fiddle tune. The first part's a little crooked. It's got an extra measure or two. And it's not a real fast one, but it's not slow either. And that's you'll hear it. I'm going to play it for you.
Nice. Okay, we're going to get to that too. But
I think I'm going to play another one also that I wrote called Harry Records.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. And what's the history of the Harry Records song?
Oh boy, Harry Records was a very good friend of mine. He passed away about 5 years ago, and I gave Harry fiddle lessons for 15 years. The last 15 years of his life, and we became very good friends. And he was just a great guy. Farmer he did many things over his life, but he ended up being a corn farmer, flint corn, and growing the white cap flint corn, which is used to make Johnny cakes around here. And he did a few other kinds of corn too, but just
He was
friend.
what we call a Yankee, I think. Wasn't
Swamp
he?
Yankee,
Swamp
all
Yankee.
the way.
Yeah. So that song, Harry Records, we're going to tag on the end of one of our first number
Right.
in this episode of The Kitchen. Getting back to your song that you wrote, the other song you wrote, Dancing with Lynne.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that Lynne has a little bit of a connection with cats. Can you talk about that?
Oh,
just a bit?
yeah. So Lynne's an author. She turned into an author a few years ago. Got our first book published in 2016. She's written a couple more since then. But she's got another book coming out in October called But Cats Don't Talk. And it's a fiction, not historical. It's a young adult novel.
Oh, nice.
And it's a good book.
That's great. That's coming out in October.
October.
And so we'll put a link to that so people can learn more about it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
In the show notes as well. That's great. Okay, well, we're going to wrap things up, and we always ask our guests here on the Two Cat Kitchen one final question, and that is, what was your first musical memory?
Well, I have many musical memories from being a kid, and I loved music. But the one that I remember was we had this record, and it was about music. And I remember there's two. There was one that was jazz, and jazz was just incredible to me that it had all of these sounds and drums and bongos and horns and stuff all going in different directions, and it just was really fun to listen to. And
So it was like introduction to jazz.
it was, and I mean, I just thought it was the coolest stuff.
Awesome. Wow. But you didn't follow in the jazz direction, I guess.
No,
Yeah,
it took a long
totally.
time for me to actually find my instrument
Yeah.
and figure out what I wanted to do. But both my parents played piano just for fun. My dad played schmaltz. It was really good, but just not complicated stuff. Just
Yeah.
played in the key of C. Never touched the black keys, and he would just play this beautiful, flowing music they would just make up as he went along.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's great. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to head on down to the kitchen and get going with the recipe. And what do you have for a recipe? What are we making today?
Okay, so we're gonna cook a brisket.
Cooking brisket.
So
Can't wait
like
for
the
this.
holy grail. Well, I guess a whole pig is a little bit tougher than cooking a brisket, but the brisket is a nice challenge, and it's fun, and it takes a long time to cook. So we're gonna figure out how much this brisket weighs, and then we're gonna cook it an hour per pound.
Excellent. All right. We'll be back
All right.
with the brisket.
All right.
We're back at the Two Cat Kitchen. Okay, Chris, so what are we making today?
So we're going to make a brisket, and it's going to be barbecue brisket. It's going to be cooked on my smoker for about 12 hours or so. We're going to weigh it and see how many pounds it is, and we're going to cook it for an hour per pound.
Hour per pound.
About, yes.
Love it.
That's how we kind of gauge how much time we need to go. So I got this cheap piece of meat over here.
That's where the brisket is?
Yeah,
Oh, let's take a look.
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
get into it.
sure. So this is a very tough piece of meat, and it's about 15 pounds. But we got two sides to this thing, and we got it's a brisket is two muscles. It's let's see, yeah. So it's this muscle here, which this is a thin part called the flat, and then you come over here and you've got the point, and this is another muscle that goes across here, and it's separated by a layer of fat.
Oh, okay.
So this is a little bit leaner than this, but this is the way the thing works.
So when you go to, where do you get a brisket? Is it like a small little place in the back of a
It's
a
at Walmart.
speakeasy? Oh, well. So you ask them, I need a brisket, and they go in the back room, you know?
Yeah,
and-
no, they I mean, I ask them sometimes if I don't like what they have.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I did ask them if they had a bigger piece of meat
Oh, okay.
than this, but they didn't. This was it.
So this was on display?
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. It's right off the shelf, as they say.
Right off the shelf. They had a smaller one, and but we're feeding 19 people with this and some chicken.
Holy moly, chicken.
Yep. This chunk of meat right here, this chunk of fat, I'm going to cut that out.
You get the hounds of the Baskervilles over here wanting to come in. I don't know.
I know.
It's a rough neighborhood here at the Two Cat. By the way, we're on location at the Two Cat Kitchen.
That's right.
We're in our remote kitchen.
Here.
That looks like a big piece of fat to me.
It is, but this is the piece of fat that separates the two muscles that make up the brisket.
Yeah.
And the brisket, as we were talking about before, comes from the front of the cow, chest, and so because it's basically, you know, the top of the legs, it gets a lot of use and becomes a very, very tough piece of meat.
Oh, okay.
So what we do is we barbecue it, and we get rid of this stuff.
Maybe take the toughness away.
And it does. So what it does is the low temperature will cook it. If I can maintain a temperature of 225, I'll be really happy. And just cook it for the 12 hours or whatever. But it'll probably fluctuate between 225 and 275. And that's just the nature of a wood fire oven, basically.
So what is some of the history of cooking brisket? Is this something that's like back in colonial times that it started here in the U.S.? Or
Boy,
is it,
you know
you know anything about that?
I watched this movie, and it was I think it was an Argentinian movie, and it was all about barbecue, all about asado, and I forget the Spanish words, but it was hilarious. It was a very, very funny movie, and very, graphic in showing cows and death and all that kind of stuff. But it was talking about the origin of barbecue, and smoking meat goes way back to the dawn of man, as far as I can tell. But barbecue, they interview this one guy, and he's talking about how the Argentina folks, invented barbecue, and then you get this guy from Texas, and he says, "Oh yeah, Texas invented barbecue," and so I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a lot of.
So in Rhode Island, I don't know what the tradition is in here, but there's not a whole lot. And I started off. I used to grill my meat over wood coals, and I'd cook a hamburger or chicken, and it would always be overdone, or just give me heartburn, and somehow I got in my head that barbecue was not the same as grilling. So I went on YouTube and I found Carolina barbecue and how that all works, and it's a little bit different than what I do. This is I don't like that. So we're going to cut that off. And what the Carolina barbecue is where they burn wood down, make coals, and then shovel coals into the smoker and just cook over the coals. This style is where I have a live fire and I keep the flames going the whole time. So I have to tend the fire constantly. And the flavor is different because you get the full smoke flavor, and it can't be a smoky smoke. It's got to be a nice clean smoke. So making the smoke right is very important.
Oh wow!
So I don't know if that's.
Does that have to do with the wood you burn, or?
Well, yeah, you have to use a hardwood.
Yeah.
Lots of people use people use different kinds of wood. I like red oak. That's what I found has been just really tasty. So that's part of the recipe is the wood.
We're back in the kitchen. What are we doing next?
So we're going to season this baby up. So we cut off about 2.5 pounds of fat. So from a 15.5 pound, we're down to about 13 pounds. So when this cooks, it'll shrink and it'll lose more poundage. And usually we figure about a half pound of meat per person. So at 13 pounds, that's 26 people. But it will probably lose 30% of its volume. So we'll be supplementing with chicken tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good.
So I'm just going to rinse my hands off.
Seasoning.
So I've got a mix of salt and pepper here. And this is salt from Argentina that a friend of mine gave me. I have no idea where you get this stuff. And
Argentinian salt.
yes. And this is just restaurant-style black pepper.
Nice.
And it's just a coarser grind. And that's what this is, a mix of those two
Oh, beautiful.
elements. So all we do is we just shake it on.
Now, do you put any kind of oil or anything on it, or
Nope.
no? You don't need to.
This is it.
This is it. And then it just obviously it's not going to go on the heat right away because you don't even start that till later.
No. So what I'll do is I'll probably go to bed and set my alarm, get up at 2 o'clock, and go out and start the fire and in the smoker. And then I will set the alarm for every 45 minutes. From there to go out and feed the fire and keep it going. And that's basically it.
See, that's fantastic.
We're going to, it's not the prettiest brisket I've ever done, but
It looks pretty good from my angle.
it should be just delicious when it's done. And we'll take a little saran wrap or Glad wrap.
Wrapping it up.
Wrap it up and put it in the fridge.
In the fridge until it's time to go in the cooker.
Yep.
So I'll tell you one thing. That what you were describing about the cooking process, the fact that you're going to get up at 2 in the morning and you're going to then therefore get up every 45 minutes after that kind of would take this out of the realm of something that I would want to do.
Well, I almost didn't do this because you said you weren't going to stay and watch the whole process. But I figured, any excuse to make a brisket.
Yeah, I'm not going to be camping out in your backyard tonight
Well,
to watch the
that's your loss, man. I tell you, the fire in the middle of the night is just awesome. Get up. I only get up for 3 minutes.
Oh,
I get up, I walk out there, I throw 2 logs on, I come back in here, I set the alarm for 45 minutes later, I fall back asleep within 30 seconds, and then the alarm goes off, and I'm going, where am I?
what's going on?
What's going on?
Why am I doing this?
And so...
Beautiful. We're all set. That's the prep of the brisket.
That is.
And
we put it in the fridge.
in it goes.
In it goes. And that'll come back out around, 13 hours, right? I said 13 pounds, 13 hours. So that's got to go on. I want to take it off at 5 o'clock. So it's got to go on at 4 in the morning, which means I have to start the fire at 1 o'clock.
Wow.
Because my smoker takes 3 hours to heat up, and it doesn't work well until it's heated up. It just needs to be heated up so the fire kind of goes automatically and it works. Because otherwise you're trying to force the fire and force the smoke, and it just doesn't flow through there.
Wow. That's a lot of work.
It's not really work. It's all fun.
Oh, you like it. Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a brief pause here. We're going to go out and check out the cooker, the smoker.
This evolved over a period of 2 years, and it started off as just a little thing, 6 concrete blocks, 6 of those things, with a slate top and a slate front and a grill in between. And I did the Carolina style, where I'd make a fire outside and shove the coals in. And I destroyed the meat the first time, but it still was good. And there's a YouTube link that I'll give you, Rick, that's really fun, because I made a time lapse of rebuilding it. It's called the Dynaflow Duchess rebuild. Duchess is spelled wrong.
All right, we'll post that for our listeners and watchers.
Yep.
You can
So
check it
the
out.
way this thing works is the firebox is in here, and the smoke and heat travels out to the sides, and it comes up through slots in the ends, and it comes into the cooking chamber. I control the fire with these dampers, and I can just close it down and get the fire going just right.
Excellent.
So
All right, well, we'll be back, and we'll see the results of all of your efforts.
Okay, so we're ready to take the brisket off. We're at 204 degrees. We're out of time. I like it to get up to 211, but Aaron Franklin, the guru, almighty high god of brisket, says 203 in his book. So we are good. We're going to take this puppy off. And I had removed the patches before, so I'm going to leave those on. Maybe those are for the puppy dogs. Those are just fat that we had rendering into the brisket. So I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to take it off and I'm going to wrap it up. And we're going to let it rest for a while before we cut it up. Put it in the cooler. And we're going to let it sit. Actually, not a cooler at this point. It's a keeper warmer. So it'll stay nice and hot and rest. We had our takeout buddies come and already take half of this thing. But
That's the brisket.
that is what's left of the brisket. And we got the good half.
Look at it.
Because this has got the two mussels in there. And this is the moist half, and this is just delicious. So I'm just going to carve this baby. It is still hot. So this thing was on the fire for 13 hours plus.
Wow.
And the temperature fluctuated between, in general, between about 225 and 275. And near the end, the temperature, I was trying to get it up to 211, but it wasn't there. So I wanted to get it to at least 203. So I threw some more wood on the fire and got it a little bit warmer. And it came up to 204, and I took it off because I wanted it to sit for a little while. Now, I don't know what the big deal is, but in the barbecue world, this red is called the smoke ring. And this is okay. It's good, but I don't know what the big deal is about it, but they make a big deal of it.
Do you know?
People let you
So
know.
anyway,
People
this
check it out.
looks pretty good. I tasted a few pieces before, and it is delicious.
Well, that wraps up the recipe portion of our program today. And we're going to do a song. Chris is going to do a song for us. Tell us again, what song are we doing?
Okay, so this is a tune I wrote, a fiddle tune I wrote back in 2018, and it's called Dancing with Lynne. I wrote it for my wife, and here it is.
Beautiful. Let's get right to it.
All right.
Welcome back. That brisket was delicious. Now it's time for the Two Cat Mailbag.
Welcome to the Two Cat Mailbag. I'm here with Sarah Grady from the Coconotes. How are you doing, Sarah?
Doing pretty well.
Thanks for joining us on the mailbag. And we also have Madame LesMew, who is going to be reading our viewer or listener mail tonight. How are you, Madame LesMew?
I'm excellent on this perfect evening.
Ah, excellent. Well, the only thing we're missing right now is the actual mail itself. I don't know where the heck. Oh, wait a minute. I hear something.
All right.
Oh, wait. This could be it. This could be the mailbag. Oh, there's the mailbag. Excellent. All right. Here we go. Mail is coming out.
All right.
Madame LesMew, are you ready? Do you have the
I
first
am.
listener question?
I do. It's from Ashley from Amarillo, who asks, "Who are the two cats in the kitchen?"
Oh, the two cats in the kitchen. Oh, that's a good one. Never thought about that. Is that a rhetorical question? No, it's an
There
actual
are always
question.
two cats in the kitchen, but they're not always the same cat.
Oh,
Yeah.
now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, that's. How do you figure that?
Oh, cats. They
Cats come and go.
come and go. Yeah.
That could
In and
be.
out the windows and
I think one of them is Bartholomew.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you know of
And
it?
Katerina, of course.
Katerina.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be Bartholomew and Katerina to start.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know. Who are the cats in the kitchen? That's an interesting question. We might have to come back to that one later, but I think there's some significance to that question, which will become apparent in later podcasts. Why don't we move on to question number 2? We didn't do very well with that one, did we?
Alrighty then. Brad from Gallup, New Mexico asks, "I'm trying to figure out if we're in the same time zone. What time is it now where you are?"
Oh, I got this one. Ooh, 7:01. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't get how do you. Wait a minute. This podcast will be airing at a later date. How would you get the
It's
time
whatever
zone?
time it is in New Mexico, was it?
That's a good point.
Yes.
So are we in the same time? Well, he
That
won't be able to
is-
figure it out because
That is, yes.
it's not. This podcast will not be airing.
It
We're
is
not
live in your own car or living room or headset. Yes,
but not actually live from where we are now. So he won't be able to figure it out.
that's right.
Streaming,
Streaming.
yeah. But I can tell you right now, Brad, we're not in the same time zone.
No.
So I'm sorry about that. But we kind of try to get the answers as best we can here at the Two Cat Mailbag. Okay, what have you got next, Madame LesMew?
All right, let's see. Eloise T. from Flagstaff, Arizona asks, "Got any good chicken jokes?"
Oh, chicken
Oh,
jokes.
I do have a couple of chicken jokes.
Okay, let's have one.
How do chickens wake up in the morning?
How?
With an alarm clock. How do chickens send mail?
I don't know. You tell me.
Using envelopes.
Of course they do.
Okay, I got one. Chicken walks into a library, goes up to the librarian, and librarian says, "Yes, may I help you?" And the chicken goes, "What?" She says, "Excuse me? What did you say?" Chicken says, "Bark." She says, "Oh, well, I guess he wants a book." So librarian goes off, gets him a book, Ernest Hemingway.
Chickens like short sentences.
Yeah, okay. So chicken takes a book, walks out of the library. Okay, next day, chicken comes back, goes into the library, goes up to the librarian, puts the book he got the day before down and says, "Bark!" And the librarian's like, "You want another book?" "Bark!" Okay, chicken wants another book. So she goes and gets him another book and gives it to him, and he turns around and walks out. It's a Norman Mailer, Dramatic. So next day after that, chicken comes back again, puts the book down that he got the day before, and says, bark, bark, bark. She's like, oh, what? Bark, bark, bark. Oh, 3 books. You want 3 books. 2 shorts and 1 long. So she goes off and gets him the 3 books. So now she's getting a little curious about what's going on here. So she gives the chicken the 3 books. He turns around and walks out. She decides she's going to follow him. So she follows the chicken down to all through the neighborhood into a swamp, like a kind of a small swamp that's somewhat near the library. And he goes up in the swamp. He goes up to a frog, big old bullfrog sitting by the edge of the pond, lays the books in front of him, and the bullfrog goes, read it, read it, read it.
Even I have to admit that was pretty funny.
That's a good one.
Just chicken goes into a library is pretty funny, I'll tell you that. Okay, so any other chicken jokes?
Well,
Your kids have some chicken jokes, don't they, Sarah? Or those first 2 of those?
those were theirs, yeah.
Okay.
But there were
Well, you have
chickens
one. You
in
have
my local library, actually.
They had chickens?
Yeah, they were raising chickens right in front of the circulation desk. So, yeah.
Well, it's not so far-fetched after all. Okay, why don't we move on?
Alrighty then. Fred Parsons from Winona asks, was everybody really kung fu fighting?
Oh, good question. What do you think, Sarah?
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
I think so. And you know what? Those cats were fast as lightning.
In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
Yeah, but I seem to recall they fought with expert timing.
They sure did. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those cats were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they fought with expert timing. There were funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown. They were chopping them up, they were chopping them down. It's an ancient Chinese art,
guess that answers that question. Okay, what do you got? What's next, Madame LesMew?
All righty. Well, we've got Hilda from Kingman who asks, what's the meaning and origin of the phrase, let the cat out of the bag?
Hilda! Hilda!
That
Thanks,
is
Hilda.
a serious question from a serious name.
Yeah, no kidding. Don't mess with Hilda.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay,
All right.
well, let the cat out of the bag.
Well,
What exactly does that mean? It's when you let the cat out of the bag, you like say something you're not supposed to, or
Right. Right. So you got the cat in the bag,
The cat is in the bag. What is the cat doing in the bag?
probably struggling to get out of the bag,
Okay.
meowing, clawing,
And you want to
and
let
it's
the cat.
probably pretty angry when it gets out of the bag. So
But it's a phrase. So
it
it
is.
means-
No, right. It is.
Okay.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I think it. What do you think it means?
I think
Like she let the cat out of the bag.
right. It's that. Well, like you said, it's
You
like
gave-
you say you give away the secret. So
Yeah. Okay.
So
You gave some information that you
So,
weren't supposed to give out
you
or
know,
something? Or,
yeah,
you gave
so-
away the secret. I like that. Okay, so we
Well-
got the meaning.
but the cat in the bag.
And what's the origin of the phrase? Where did it come from? That's what she's asking, right, Madame LesMew?
Yes, of course, the origin of the phrase.
Yes, of course. Oh! We're not supposed to look.
I saw that.
Okay.
We have to use our ingenuity to come up with the answer.
All right.
So like you said, the cat is in the bag. Why is the cat in the bag to begin with? We don't know, but somebody put the cat in the bag, and then
It's a secret cat.
secret cat. The cat is a secret, but
Ooh, maybe it's like when a little kid wants to adopt a kitten,
they put it in the
you
bag.
know, and they try to sneak it into their house. And so, you know, it's hard to keep a secret. It's hard to keep a cat in a bag. And so, you know, you're bringing the cat in the bag into the house and like, oh, I hope my mom doesn't find out that I brought a cat home. But
Are you speaking from
eventually-
experience, Sarah? Did this happen to you once? Did you bring home a cat in a bag at one time?
I've acquired cats by interesting circumstances, I would say.
Oh, okay, but not necessarily in the bag.
No.
So it could be bringing the cat in the bag. Yeah, maybe there's some historical significance. I don't know.
Maybe the cat isn't actually a cat. You know, sometimes these things come from,
Oh,
you know, some obscure word
yeah.
that, you know, now we say cat, but it's supposed to be like calf or something.
Calf.
Like let the calf out of the bag.
Maybe there was a calf in the bag.
Oh, at one time.
Or cap.
Don't
Maybe
die.
let the cap
in the
out of the
day.
bag or something.
Okay.
know. Maybe it has to do with, you know, sometimes these things come from like military history. So maybe you kept firing caps in a bag for a musket. And so you have to keep the caps in the bag to keep them dry or to keep them from triggering. And so if you let the cap out of the bag, then maybe it creates an explosive situation.
That's way more exciting than the real answer.
Madame LesMew, you sound like you know the answer. Are you aware of this situation?
I'm a little bit of a cat historian, if you ask me. But in the 1700s, there used to be swindlers who would swap swine for cats in bags, and the jig was up when the cat escaped. I much prefer your answer about the military.
Oh, so they used to like sell
Sell a
pig.
cat in a bag.
That's either a very big cat or a very small pig.
Oh, so they would
Trying to
sell. They used to sell pigs in bags, and pigs are valuable because people eat them, right? Mm-hmm. And then they would switch the cat out. They'd switch the pig for a cat, and take the money and run because nobody cared about cats. Right? Cats are a dime a dozen. Well,
And the cat's going to
which is
definitely
very
run away.
discriminatory.
I
here in
care
Two
about cats.
Yeah, I bet. Yes, I think so.
But still,
Okay, this is a sensitive subject
a
for Madame LesMew.
pig-sized cat or a cat-sized pig.
When pigs are small, it's easily
So it's a piglet.
exactly.
It's a piglet. Well, so that we sorted that out. Thank you, Madame LesMew. Your insight.
Such a historian.
Didn't know you were such a historian about cat matters. That we may be able to use that later in our
Catters.
cat matters.
All cats are born with an innate knowledge of all the cat history that has come before them.
Okay.
But should we do another one?
We should. I think, yes, thank you.
All right.
But time to wrap this up, I think.
And our
Got it.
last question.
One more.
One more.
Len Duck from San Bernardino asks, "What's everyone doing tonight?"
What's everyone? I'll tell you
I was gonna plan on having some fun.
That's better than
Do
me.
you want to have fun?
I'll tell you what. I think everybody wants to have fun.
Oh.
And,
How though? How should we have fun?
Yeah, how are you gonna have fun? Well, I'll tell you. No, I won't tell you what I was gonna do, but because I don't know, I wasn't gonna do anything, but maybe I will have fun. How are you gonna have fun, Sarah? Oh, what about you, Madame LesMew? You have anything planned for tonight?
Oh, probably just me and a couple of girls will hit the town.
Oh, that sounds
I
lovely.
didn't know you had that kind of wild life going on there.
Every cat leaves multiple lives.
I gotcha. Okay, excellent. Thank you for that. What about you, Sarah? How are you going to have fun tonight?
I think I might Wang Chung.
I'll drive 1,000,000 miles to be with you tonight. So if
That's about all we have time for in this episode of the Two Cat Kitchen. We'd like to thank our special musical guest, Chris Heinzmann. Also, we'd like to thank Sophia Pearson and the Coconotes. I'm Rick McKinney.
And I'm Sarah Grady.
Join us next time right here at the Two Cat Kitchen.